Good morning, Dopey. Your favorite podcast. Now a YouTube show.
So, good morning, Dopey. Welcome to our daily reflection show, our deep yet shallow dive into the daily reflections. And before we start, I want to introduce you to Howie, our producer.
Hello.
Howie had a revelation before we started. Why don't you tell the Dopey Nation what you've come away with about the daily reflections?
I was just saying that they're a huge bummer.
They're a bummer.
They're a bummer if...
Do you have a hot take?
I guess my hot take is, and I think the reason why I'm saying they're a bummer, I don't mean it to be insulting. I think I mean it to be like...
No, they're very, very... It's
a lot, and it's
a lot
tedious.
to build a YouTube channel on, I'll tell you
right,
that.
and I get if you need it, if you need that structure, that daily structure, I completely understand the
So you're
the
putting
value.
down our 93 daily watchers?
Yeah. I think what it's just making me think of is like, if you need them, you really need them. You know what I mean? Like if you need to hear this and think about it every day, you really need it. And it makes me think of like
I don't think
someone who's
so.
in that.
I don't think
No?
that's what it
think
is.
it could be great for anyone who doesn't need it?
I think, first of all, we make it incredibly fun. It's an incredibly good time.
It's true. That is true. It's a great time. We do have a great time.
And I think a lot of people,
Yeah.
or the people that watch our show, probably don't read the daily reflections, and this was an excuse for them to add something, like fun little validation,
Yes,
some
I get
little what's it called, affirmation,
Yeah.
on a daily basis, and then like I know for me, this is weird. The reason we did this was because you wanted to come up with something we could do every day that we didn't have to edit,
My fault.
and I was like, what about the daily reflections?
Hey, that's a good idea.
So we started reading the daily reflections, and we're only in February, but we've done all of November and December.
Yeah.
So that means all we have to do is February, March,
Very
April, May, June, July, August, September,
What comes
October.
after? Oh, good.
So we only have 9 months to go.
That's it.
That's
Just
it.
9 short months.
Any predictions, Dopey Nation? Do you think we'll get Howie? Do you think we'll do all of them?
Unfortunately, I think between my OCD and your inability to give up on something, I think we will end up doing all of them. And it's like I'm not knocking them. I mean, I totally see the value in it if you need it. I mean, it could be the difference between life and death for some people. I completely get that.
This definitely is not the difference between life and death for anybody.
Well, I don't know that what you and I are doing,
Right,
but
no.
I understand that by reading this every day, there's definitely going to be value for people who really depend on it and who need to hear this. So I'm not taking anything away from that. But the bummer for me about it is like to need to hear that means that you're in a place where things are really difficult and you have to hear this to be able to go on, and that's rough to reconcile. To think like I don't think about this. I never thought like, every day I should have an affirmation.
I've been in recovery for 6.5 years, and the daily reflection was not in my radar.
Mm-hmm.
And once in a while, like a friend or a new acquaintance would text me
to you, yeah.
the day, and I'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" You know what I
Nice
mean?
of you.
But I think it's funny that we have 9 months of this to go, and you guys, like, I'm excited that you guys are along for the ride. Who knows what's going to happen?
Right.
Remember,
Could
we
go off
had
the rails.
Tony Cavallero on one.
That's true. And Vinny.
Skinny Vinny,
Zach.
Amy
No,
Dretz.
Zach was on.
fucking all sorts of folks.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's do this one.
Please.
It's the February 17th. I'm sorry that we were negative about the daily reflections when you guys are obviously hanging in with us.
No, it's not negative about the
The
daily
first thing you said was
reflections.
it's a bummer.
It's a bummer to think about people having to have something
Nobody
like this.
needs anything. You just need to eat and breathe and fuck and sleep. That's all you
about
need.
that.
You don't need
I
the
think
daily.
that there's definitely value.
Nobody needs it.
You don't think there's any value in these?
I didn't say value. You could have value in something you don't need.
Well,
Here we go. The love in their
shut up
eyes.
ooh, nice.
Some of us won't believe in God. Others can't. And still others who do believe that God exists have no faith whatsoever. He will perform this miracle. It was the changes I saw in the new people who came into the fellowship that helped me lose my fear and change my negative attitude to a positive one. I could see the love in their eyes, and I was impressed by how much their one day at a time sobriety meant to them. They had looked squarely at step 2 and came to believe that a power greater than themselves was restoring them to sanity. That gave me faith in the fellowship and hope that it could work for me too. I found that God was a loving God and not the punishing God I feared before coming to AA. I also found that He had been with me during all those times I had been in trouble before I came to AA. I know today that He was the one who led me to AA and that I am a miracle. I think the issue is that a lot of these daily reflections read like the Footprints poem. You know the Footprints poem?
Again,
Footprints poem is there were there's 2 sets of footprints on the beach, and that was me with God, and then there was only one. So where did you go, God? And then God says,
Wow.
that was when I was carrying you. And that's the Footprints
That's pretty
poem.
heavy.
But that's what this kind of stuff is. And I think that this kind of stuff, like, you know, for someone like you who's totally
Moron.
you know, just unspiritual, unreligious, sacrilegious to a point. And me, who's a naysayer, it's hard. But I needed God, right? I might not have needed the daily reflections, but I needed spirituality.
Okay.
And spirituality saved my life. And I didn't have a epiphany. I had the epiphany I had was when someone told me that rarely had they seen someone not thoroughly follow this path and not get results, that I said, I'm going to thoroughly follow it because my shit was fucked up, Hal. You know, it's not like I was like you and then I became holy. I was a fucking horrible drug addict, you know, and I needed to get stability so that my family could eat and stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
I hear that.
So
Well, that's what I meant before when I said that it's a bummer, because you think about those things where people are, that they need this so much, and that's tough to think about.
people don't need the daily reflections. The daily
messaging.
reflections is nice. What they need is spirituality, and they need access to a power greater than themselves, which can be a bummer, but it's also like you're not talking about normal people. You're talking about drug addicts and alcoholics that need a burst of goodness.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
so look at it as a positive thing. That's my hot take.
If it helps,
You know
one
what my
person, I
hot
think it's
take is?
positive. What's your hot take?
You're a jerk. Anyway, stay strong, Dopey Nation. Fucking toodles for Chris.
Doodles for Chris.
Dopey, I'm face down on the floor. Dopey, please sir, can I have some more? Dopey,